off a daily fantasy. His numbers too high, then I'm probably fading him. He been on the road, he gon' eat up my salary. I hit up by, he gon' lie before lock. Play back to back, then I probably won't pick on the DFS bachelor, good as it gets. Build a few liners and hit me a leg. He had a good game, but it might be a trick. Log in the Slack so I know who to pick. Sharing our liners, we all gon' get rich. New to this game, you should come to the pad. You might want some cash and get a good laugh. DFS sports, we gon' run up a bag. He heard every game and it's making me mad. You buying your lineups, I think you a cheater. DFS bachelor, he the new leader. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Bachelor Pad. I, of course, am your host, the DFS Bachelor, and we're going to go over our fantasy draft NBA picks for Thursday, February 6th. It's a 5-game slate. Today is the trade deadline, so these days, yesterday, today, they're scary days. You just don't know. I mean, we saw it with Jay Crowder, Alec Burks, Glenn Robinson, where all of a sudden, boom, they're taken out. We don't know that they're going to be traded, and boom, they're traded. So it is important to pay attention as much as you can. My suggestion when you're making lineups today, especially if you're, is to just try to get players that you are really confident aren't going to be traded. Keep an eye on the transaction wire. You can follow me on Twitter at DFS Bachelor. I'll have every trade up there as it happens, rumors, etc. It's just a dicey type of day, so that's just how it is. But there can be some advantages to it as well. I ended up doing actually pretty well last night if it wasn't for Spencer Dinwiddie. Could have done a whole lot better, but that Golden State-Brooklyn game just got thrown to shit as soon as, all those trades went in. It's just the nature of the beast around this time. So after today, we'll have a more clear indication. So fantasy draft. First things first, before I ramble on too much, thank you for all your support. I truly do appreciate all of you. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the team. Be sure to hit subscribe down below. Get access to all of our content. We do have XFL videos up for XFL Week 1. That video is already up. Really excited about that. All of our other content, etc. Hit subscribe down below. Also, by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and leaving a comment in the comment section, you qualify for our weekly $25 PayPal giveaway. We announce that winner every Monday. So there is that. Now, fantasy draft, for those of you who are new, is rake-free DFS. What that means is every dollar of your entry fees goes right back into the prize pool. So what that means is a higher percentage of the players win, and a higher percentage of the players have a chance at winning more when they do win. So it's a lot of fun. I enjoy fantasy draft a lot. Be sure to check it out. Go to fantasydraft.com, enter promo code DFS Bachelor if you are new signing up. I appreciate that. Also, one other thing to point out is the salary cap is doubled on Fantasy Draft. It's a $100,000 salary cap as opposed to $50,000 on DraftKings. So that's why it may seem like prices are inflated. If you're trying to equate that to what you're used to, if you're a DraftKings player, etc., just divide that in half, and that's about the cost. That's what you would be getting them on DraftKings. So there can be some advantages there as well. As usual, I do a quick 5, a nice core 5. Our core 5 yesterday was kick-ass. It did really, really well for me yesterday, so let's hope we can continue that momentum today. So, first things first, of course, I love James Harden. I'm keeping an eye on the Russell Westbrook situation. This is the front end of a back-to-back today. They are going to have Robert Covington and Jordan Bell available. They just traded for them yesterday. Apparently, they are going to be, or 2 days ago, I guess, day and a half ago, whatever the hell you want to call it. They are going to be available to make their debut tonight for Houston. So I'm keeping an eye on that. It's a front end of a back-to-back. Russell Westbrook, if he doesn't play tonight, will probably play tomorrow. If he plays tonight, he probably won't play tomorrow. That's kind of what they've been going off of. But at guard, at 17.8, so I'm getting him for less than 9K on DraftKings value, we got Damian Lillard. He's going up against Portland, 17.8 on fantasy draft. San Antonio is 23rd against opposing point guards. In terms of fantasy draft scoring, they're 14th against guards. Finally came back to reality a little bit that last game, which we actually called in our video, which was good, with a 40. But, I mean, if you look at the role he was on before that, a 79, a 60, a 79, and a 73. In his last 5 games against San Antonio, only 1 game was under 51. Damian Lillard's in a great spot against the San Antonio team that struggles against guards. I really like Damian Lillard tonight, and I love this price on Fantasy Draft. It is just simply too cheap. Next, little revenge narrative against his former team, a guy who's been putting up 50-point upside type games. I like Elf Payton at 13.4 on Fantasy Draft. That's the equivalent of about 6.7 on DraftKings. I think he's 7.3 today on DraftKings. Orlando is 4th against opposing point guards. They're 12th against guards, but I do like the revenge narrative. He's played twice against his former team. He has a 43 and a 16 I think he's closer to that 43 number tonight. I do like Elf Payton for the Knicks. Now, the Knicks are one of those teams who do weird trades, etc., and they do have, young point guards with Dennis Smith Jr., Frank Ntilikina, etc. So the Knicks are important to keep an eye on. Luckily for us, they're the first game on the slate, so we should have all the information we need. Now, you never know what happens mid-game, but hopefully we have that information because I do like Elf Payton tonight. At the forward/center spot, Houston is playing the Lakers. We all know Houston traded away Clint Capella. Their starting center is PJ Tucker, who is 6'5". Who on that team has any chance of defending Anthony Davis? Anthony Davis is probable with that shoulder. He's going to be like that every game for the rest of the year, so don't be surprised by that. 17-7 on FantasyDraft, so we're getting him the equivalent of about 8,800 on DraftKings. He's 9.8 today, or 9.7 on DraftKings today. That is way too cheap. Massive upside. I know he had a bad game his last time out, only played 29 minutes and put up a 26. If you look at his 3 previous games against Houston, he has an 80, a 48, and then a disappointing 31. I just don't know who they have to stop him. I think Anthony Davis and LeBron are both great plays. The middle of the court is wide open. There's going to be extra possessions. Houston's going small. They're running up and down the court. They're chucking up threes. Anthony Davis should have a ton of rebounds. Great opportunity at block shots, etc. And I think he dominates in the paint. I love some Anthony Davis tonight. They're 17th against power forwards, 17th in fantasy draft scoring against forward/centers. Love Anthony Davis tonight. Next, in a paced-up game against a team that he plays well against, I do like Thaddeus Young. He's 10-6 on fantasy draft, so the equivalent of about 5,300 on DraftKings. He's priced at 5.5 on DraftKings. When you look at his last 5 games against New Orleans, a 35, a 39, a 33, a 26, and a 28, playing a ton of minutes with all the injuries in the front court. Paced up game, New Orleans is 27th against opposing power forwards. In terms of fantasy draft scoring, they're 28th against forward/centers. I think there's some big upside in a transition type game, paced up game for Chicago at home against New Orleans. I like Thad Young. Chicago's another one of those bad teams that could be making trades, so it is a situation to keep an eye on. But right now, I do like Thaddeus Young. And for some value, a player that I just think is underpriced on the site today, on all sites, all 3 sites, all 4 sites, I think Trevor Ariza is underpriced. San Antonio is 27th against opposing small forwards. In terms of fantasy draft scoring, they're 18th against forward/centers. He's 8,400 on fantasy draft, the equivalent of 4,200 on DraftKings. When you look at his last couple of games against San Antonio, a 34 and a 25. He's playing a ton of minutes in the starting role. He could, if this game's close, he can play 35 to 40 minutes. Love the upside, love the price, love the salary flexibility for Trevor Ariza. So if I go with that core of Damian Lillard, Elf Payton, Anthony Davis, Thad Young, Trevor Ariza, and even if you want to save Elf Payton, go to Lonzo Ball at 12.7 right there, Jrue Holiday at 13.3. Zero issue with either of that. I'm a little worried that Jrue Holiday is going to get traded today. I just, for some reason, have that feeling, but we shall see. But if you go with that core, that leaves you $10,700 per player, plenty of salary to fill out the rest of your roster. Be sure to check out Fantasy Draft. Go to FantasyDraft.com, enter promo code DFS Bachelor, rake free DFS. It's a ton of fun. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, be part of the weekly $25 PayPal giveaway. Check out our XFL videos, etc. I really do appreciate you all so much. Good luck tonight. May the fantasy gods be with you. And we'll see you here just in a bit with our other NBA video covering the other sites as well. So lots of content coming out. Thank you all. Well, title of the sex tape. There you go. Thank you all again so much. Goodbye, folks.